Hello and welcome to lesson number 37 of the series Learn to Play the Violin with Me. During our last lesson, we were looking at page number 22, number 81, Michael rowed the boat ashore. We were discussing the road map, how to follow along with this piece, and we played through the first ending. So the only thing we didn't play in this piece is the second ending, which is just an open D half note. Let's take a look and remind ourselves how to navigate this piece before we try playing it. We play measure 1, and then if you see at the beginning of measure 2, there's a repeat sign. So that's what we're going to keep in mind that we go back to. If you want to circle it or notate it in some different way so your eye goes back there easily, do that now. Then we'll play measures 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Measure 9 is under the first ending. Then we see that repeat sign at the end of that measure. We go back to measure 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we skip the first ending measure, go to the second ending measure, and that's the end of the song. Remember, the brackets mean to keep whatever finger we have down throughout the entirety of the bracket, because even though we're leaving that note, we're coming back to it. So there's no use of removing that, in this case, second finger for the F sharp, because the next time we use that string is on an F sharp. So instead of moving it or removing it and then putting it back down, possibly in the wrong spot, we're just going to keep it anchored there so we know when we come back to the F sharp, we're playing it at the right spot and it's in tune. Let's try to play from measure 1 all the way through measure the first ending, and then we'll stop at the end of the first ending. Here we go. We start with the half rest, so I'm going to count 1, 2, and then we'll start with our open D. D, F sharp, D, F sharp. You might want to get your second finger in place there, hover it above the string so you know when you press it down it's in the right spot. Here we go. 1, 2. All right, let's stop there. We stopped earlier than possible. I was kind of a little bit of a mess there. Let's try that again, starting at measure 1, the half rest. Here we go. 1, 2. Oh, stop. Sorry. I still have to position that before I play. One day I won't need it, but not today. Here we go. 1, 2. And stop there. Let's play measure 1, 2, 3, 4, measure 5 and measure 6. So that's going from the last measure of line 1 to the first measure of line 2. Earlier in the song, we played F sharp, A, F sharp, A. But now we're playing F sharp, A, F sharp, G, F sharp, E. So we have to make sure that our eyes are moving a little bit faster than our hands and our brains to make sure that we can see what's coming up next, and our brain has that millisecond to process what's going on before our hands execute. So let's try the last 2 notes of line 1, F sharp, A, and continue on A, F sharp, G, F sharp, E, and then we'll stop after the E. So let's start in the last two notes of line 1, F sharp, nice and slow. 1, 2. Hello, sorry, I had the wrong bow angle. 1, 2. Let's try that again. F sharp, ready, play. One more time. Ready, play. All right, good. Let's start at measure 2 at the repeat sign, pretending that we are playing this the second time through. So this time we'll start at measure 2, play 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then skip to the second ending, starting on an open A. To an F sharp. Here we go. Oh, let's put our F sharp finger down, actually, our second finger down, because we're coming from the first ending, which we're kind of in the middle of a bracket here where we're starting. So put that second finger down. So when we play the open A, we go to the F sharp, our finger's already there. And it's a down bow. Here we go. Measure 2. Ready, play. Half note. Second ending. Rest, rest. Okay, I think it's time we try the entire piece. If you need to pause it and work on any specific spots, feel free to do that. But now we're going to try number 81, Michael, row your boat ashore. The whole way through. 1, 2. First ending, measure 2, and now. Second ending now. Rest, rest. All right, now the last thing we add is speed, so let's up the tempo a little bit to get it to moderato. Here we go. Let's give it a shot. Let's see, we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. We'll do it that tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Let's look at number 82, Texas 2-string. Holding your violin in shoulder position, we're going to pizzicato this exercise with your left hand fourth finger. So let's put down our bow for the moment. This is introducing us to using our fourth finger, our pinky, because if you look on page 23, that is exactly what we are about to do. So number 82, what we're going to do is we're going to position our violin up here. We're going to play open A with our fourth finger, and then we'll play open D with our fourth finger, with half rests after on beats 3 and 4 to start. So let's look. It says 4 plus. So 4 plus, when you see that, it means fourth finger pizzicato. So let's try to sight read this pizzicato playing with our pinky, our left pinky. 1, 2, ready, play. A, half, rest. D, half, rest. A, rest, rest. D, rest, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. D, 2, 3, rest. A, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. All right. Might feel a little awkward. I know it does, at least for me, because we're not used to that angle, but it will get more comfortable as we move along. So let's look at page number 23, the yellow box at the top, fourth finger. It says your fourth finger is often used to match the pitch of the next highest open string, creating a smoother tone and fewer changes between the strings for bowing. When they say smoother tone, that means open strings sound different than in tone than the strings where you put your fingers down. You may have noticed that. Maybe the open strings seem louder to you. And so to get a more consistent tone, if you're playing a phrase that uses D, E, F sharp, G, and A, if you're using a phrase that uses those notes, instead of playing open A, you can play A with your fourth finger, as it says in the yellow box there. So we have E is 1 finger, F sharp is 2, G is 3, and now 4 is A. So that the tone of those notes, the E, F sharp, G, and A, say that you're playing a phrase like that. Then you have no open, instead of doing open A, so you have an open string there, maybe it's a little louder, you keep the consistent tone by putting your fourth finger down to play the A instead of going to the open string A. Also, probably lesson number 638, I don't know, whenever vibrato enters the chat, which is when you shake your finger a little bit. You hear it with singers too. Vibrato is that shakiness. So you may want to add, really experienced players add vibrato to their playing, so they may want a vibrato. If there's an A in the piece, you can't do vibrato on an open string because it requires using your left hand fingers, so that might be another reason why they choose to play with your fourth finger instead of the open string. Let's, one more thing, so we have open D, E, F sharp, and then we have G. Remember, F sharp and G are a half step apart. They're really close in pitch. So that's why that they're close together when we are on the string as well. So our fourth finger, G to A, is a whole step. So we want a little bit of space in between the G and the A fingers, the third and fourth fingers. And when you play A with the fourth finger, it should match the pitch of the open A string. So, for example, if I would play open A, that's the pitch that I want to make when I put my fourth finger down to play A on the D string. A, that's open A. Let's see how I did. See how that's a little bit lower? Listen. Oh, whoa. Open A, here's my A. It's a little bit flat, so I want to move it up a little bit. Open A, here's the fourth finger A. There we go. Yeah, so now they match. So now I know I'm in the right position for that fourth finger. Let's look at number 83, 4 by 4. We are playing, it's 8 measures long, no repeats. We're playing all the notes on the D string. So we have open A there a couple times, but instead of playing them as open A, like I just said, whoops, we have an A there a couple times. Instead of playing open A, we are going to play on the fourth finger on line number 1. Then if you look at line number 2, they are having us play the first half note A with finger 4 on the D string, the second half note A open, that's what the 0 is at the beginning, or above the note, open A string, and then going back to playing A, fourth finger on the D string. That's why you see those numbers 4, then 0, then 4. That's why they're different. Even though we're playing the same note 3 times in a row, we are going to finger it differently. So that will be challenging. For now, let's play the first line of 4x4. Here we go. Let's see how that goes. Trying to find that A with our fourth finger. So we have D, E, F sharp, F sharp. That's our starting note. Let's try it nice and slow. 1, 2, ready, and... half note, half note. All right, let's try that again. So we are playing F sharp, G, and A. So make sure that the pitches match. Let's try it one more time. F sharp. 1, 2, ready, play. All right, let's try it one more time for good measure. I need to remember to move the bow a little bit faster so I'm not getting that shakiness, and my intonation and my bow angle were a little off. Blech. So let's just try it one more time. Let's end on a good note. Right, here we go. 1, 2, ready, and... All right, great. That's a good place to stop. I will see you during our next lesson together.